Hello, and welcome to the Hindu's Year in Review for 2018, where we will look at what the top events abroad have been during the year, from foreign policy to social media and society, particularly developments that could have a ripple effect in India. Facebook Cambridge Analytica data scandal. On March 17, an explosive expose reported that 50 million personal profiles were harvested from Facebook for Cambridge Analytica, a company that specialized in data mining and data analytics. This number was later revised to as many as 87 million Facebook profiles. Whistleblower Christopher Wiley, who worked with Cambridge University academic Alexander Kogan to obtain the data, revealed how a 2013 app called This Is Your Digital Life helped them harvest this data. Subsequently, Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg apologized publicly and was summoned to testify before the US Congress on what steps the social media giant was taking to protect users' data privacy. Iran deal. US President Donald Trump announced on May 8th that he would be pulling out of the painstakingly brokered Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, JCPOA, or the Iran Nuclear Agreement, even though the IAEA, the International Atomic Agency, had certified that until date Tehran was complying with the terms of the deal, particularly in terms of uranium enrichment and bans on nuclear weapons development. Even as Washington imposed harsh sanctions on the Iran regime, with an impact on all nations importing Iranian oil, including India, the other members of this negotiation process that led to the deal in the first place committed to staying engaged as long as Iran continued to comply. Imran Khans Win in Pakistan. On July 25th, Imran Khan, the former cricketer turned politician, won a clear victory for himself as well as his Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf party in the election held in that country, and he formed a coalition government the following month. While some of his critics worried about the influence that the all-powerful Pakistan military and intelligence establishments might have over civilian politics under his tenure, the new Prime Minister has since sought to build bridges with India, especially through the Kartarpur Corridor project, connecting holy sites for Sikh pilgrims on both sides of the border. Confidence vote in the UK. On December 12th, UK Prime Minister Theresa May won a vote of confidence in her leadership of the Conservative Party by 200 to 117. After securing 63% of the total vote, she has obtained a year-long immunity from a leadership challenge, during which time she will have to find a formula for Brexit, the UK's exit from the EU, that both Brussels and the British Parliament will find acceptable. At stake are profound questions relating to immigration and trade and investment, which Indian lawmakers and the private sector here in India are no doubt watching closely. Trade war. On January 22nd, US President Donald Trump's America First trade policy started taking a toll on prospects for economic growth and stability world over. The trouble began when Mr. Trump slapped China with tariffs for solar panels and washing machines, and then a war of tit-for-tat tariffs was set off, including everything from steel, electronic goods, and a wide range of consumer products. At each stage, retaliation by China with counter tariffs led to higher tariffs from the US, ultimately culminating in the US imposing 10% tariff on $200 billion of Chinese exports, rising to 25% by the end of 2018. Unfortunately for the world economy, this meant that the IMF downgraded the global growth outlook for this year and the next year to 3.7%, down 0.2 percentage points from an earlier forecast. If this continues, global supply chains may be hit, trade volumes may shrink, and more importantly, multilateral rule-making bodies such as the WTO may well be undermined. The Kim-Moon meet in the Koreas. Peace in the Korean Peninsula gained an unprecedented and historic boost on April 27th, when North Korean leader Kim Jong-un and South Korean President Moon Jae-in met for the first time at the border between their conflicted nations. With Kim meeting US President Donald Trump in June in Singapore, a thaw appeared to be underway so far as the reclusive North, often considered a nuclear rogue power, was concerned. Given that the North had boasted of developing missiles, some nuclear capable, which could reach as far as Australia, the entire Asian region is likely to have breathed a sigh of relief at the emerging détente. New Maldivian president. On September 23rd, Ibrahim Solih won a resounding victory in the tiny but strategically significant archipelago nation in the Indian Ocean. After 5 years of a government led by Abdullah Yameen, during which time there was a steady drift into the stifling economic embrace of China, Maldivians voted for a coalition of pro-democracy parties led by the Maldives Democratic Party. The new president is considered by India to be a friend, and the Mandarins in New Delhi's South Bloc will doubtless be relieved that Beijing no longer has an easy pass to expand its strategic footprint in the archipelago. Turmoil in Sri Lankan politics. On October 26, India's closest island neighbour was rocked by a constitutional crisis when President Maithripala Sirisena appointed former President Mahinda Rajapaksa as Prime Minister before formally dismissing incumbent Ranil Wickremesinghe and suspending Parliament for 3 weeks. While there was speculation that Mr. Sirisena saw an alliance with the former president as his best chance of remaining in power, Mr. Rajapaksa has since lost 2 no-confidence motions against him in November and was handed an appeals court decision temporarily barring him and his cabinet from carrying out official duties. The crisis, however, continues. US midterm elections. On November 6, millions of Americans headed to the polling booths to cast their vote in the midterm elections, in which all 435 seats of the House of Representatives and 35 seats in the Senate were up for grabs, beside 36 gubernatorial races and thousands more state and local positions. After their politically calamitous defeat in the 2016 presidential election, Democrats came back with a bang, or rather with a blue wave, and recaptured the House of Representatives with a clear majority of 235 seats. Although the White House and Senate remain under the control of the Republican Party, this could mean more aggressive House investigations into whether the 2016 Trump campaign colluded with Russian operatives to influence the elections.